All right, very good. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the WPR on Monday morning kickoff. We are so excited to see all of your smiling faces. Just as a reminder, this is a camera on meeting. We love to see you smiling during this quick 30-minute meeting, which is all about getting our week started on the right foot. Now, I know it's Monday and people out there are probably just dreading the fact that they have to go to work, but we have a unique opportunity in our business. The unique opportunity is that we get a chance to do something that we truly love to do. Now, that doesn't take away from it being challenging. That doesn't take from it giving us ups and downs. So that's what this meeting is all about, to help you guys all through those ups and downs that involve being a real estate agent and an investor. So thank you guys again for joining us. Now, before we get started with today, I want to remind you of a couple of things. One, we have a 5-4-3-2-1 plan to discuss. We're going to go through it here shortly. We also just brought on a brand new partner, which is going to help our clients with all of their credit issues. Who here has clients who want to buy a house but have some credit issues? Raise your hand if you have credit issue clients come up every once in a while. All right. See, what happens is every once in a while we get someone that says, hey, I have some credit challenges. I want to buy a house, but I don't know where to go, who to talk to, and how much it's going to cost. Who here knows how much credit counseling costs for someone? What's the average price? Don't forget that you guys are muted. Somebody on the chat says $1,000 to $2,000. That's probably about right. Average price ends up being anywhere between $100 to $150 a month. Sometimes people charge more. Sometimes there's an onboarding fee. And the problem with that setup is that there is no incentivization for the company to stop or to do anything faster. Like, they're incentivized to do things very slowly because they can charge a monthly fee. And so it's unusual for them to get done any faster than anywhere between 6 months to 2 years when they're doing any kind of credit counseling. So one of the cool things that we found here recently, and I want to remind you of, is that our one of our newest partners, Allura Financial, is connected to a credit counselor who will fix your client's credit for $600 flat, and it's credit counseling for life, not just between now and the time they buy a house. It's credit counseling for life, and it's specialized to fix their credit for being able to qualify for a mortgage, so that those people that are wanting to buy can actually qualify, and you don't have to go out there and think about like, hey, this is going to cost you $1,000 to $2,000. No, it's $600, and if you use a White Picket real estate agent, it's $100 off. If you want to know more about that program, please let us know. We'll reach out. I'll share a little flyer in the social chat after this meeting, and I'll share the discount code that you can use with your specific clients, which gives them $100 off, $500 total, gets them into credit counseling for getting their mortgage, getting their credit mortgage ready, and then that makes them ready to start being able to go through the process of purchasing. So with that said, in a little bit, I want to talk to you guys about some of the items that we need to be focused on, but I want to also acknowledge those folks that have gone out of their way to really push forward in a challenging market and gotten all the way to closing. And I also want to remind you guys that in the last month, we've had over 10,000 closings year to year when we compare it month to month, when versus the market last year, guys. And guys, that means that even though the market is challenging, there are people wanting to buy and people closing. So all of this talk about, oh my God, my client can't, or oh my God, this market's hard, or oh my God, this is terrible. We got to just get past all that, because if there's 10,000 people closing out there, then those people need to be closing with us. So we're going to figure that out today. In the meantime, let's acknowledge those that have gotten all the way to the closing table. I'm going to hand the mic over to Manuel Mata.
Hey, good morning, guys. So yes, we are still busy right now. Today is the last day of the month. So we got to look forward to August. But so far, last week's winners are Bessie Lopez and Eric Arias, who double-ended a transaction. So congratulations to Eric. Drinks on Eric if you see him. And by the way, guys, Alan's probably gonna talk about it right now, but we have 33 listings, active listings right now. So that means there are tons of opportunities for you to host open houses and recruit, get those leads. It is a hot market. Those houses are there available for you to go host an open house, run ads, do whatever market forum. Remember, use that, leverage those listings for your benefit. All right, guys, congratulations to all the closers. Talk to you guys soon.
Congratulations, folks. In a few more weeks, we're going to be rolling out our new newsletter. If you didn't receive our latest one, please make sure that you pull that up. It should be in your emails. It's also posted on our Instagram and our social chat. That newsletter has a slew of great information as to what the market is doing, what the interest rates are, who our winners and closers are for the last month. And I dropped a little nugget in there just for you guys to tell you a little bit more about how you can be continuously generating leads with a 4-pillar system. But the 4-pillar system doesn't work. And if somebody wants to know what the 4-pillar system is, go ahead and ask, feel free. What is a 4-pillar system? What are you talking about, Alan? Don't forget that you can drop all your questions into the chat. Don't forget that you can also unmute yourself. We want to hear from you. But here's where it works. Here's where it starts. Right now, we know one thing is certain, and that is that as real estate agents, we have been incredibly blessed in the last few years. Ray, just shake your head if you agree that real estate agents have been incredibly blessed in the last few years. Like, we were able to put properties, yeah, I see some hands raised, I see some head shaking. We were able to put properties on the market and sell them 2 days in and not have to do all the work that had to be done because we just didn't have time to do it. And so what that created is a bunch of really spoiled brats. And unfortunately, it is a changing or a shift in the market that requires us to do what we need to do in order to get back to it. So as a reminder, I'm going to go through our 90 Days to Thrive program. How many of you guys are actively doing this program already or thinking about doing? Let me see some hands. I want to see who's actually really pursuing this and making it work. I see that you guys have come into the office. I see that you've taken some of these. Don't be afraid to take 2 or 3 of them and put them all over your house. Whatever you need to do to remind yourself to get back on it. This is the plan, guys. And we are doing this because a lot of times as agents, we forget what we need to be doing on a daily basis. And sometimes we get really quote unquote busy. Has anybody ever had a busy day but didn't achieve anything during that time? Where you get home and you're like, man, I was so busy today, but I didn't get anything done, right? And you realize that the majority of the time that you were busy, you spent doing on tasks that didn't actually push your business forward. So as a reminder, here are the things that will push your business forward. And the number one thing that makes you money in this business is being belly to belly in front of a client. So that's what these items are meant for you to do. So number one, we start off with 5 hot existing leads, people that we know will convert, or people that said, hey, I'm not available right now, call me tomorrow. Those are people that are already open and wanting to speak to someone. All right, those are your top 5. Those are the ones that you look for on a daily basis when you're prospecting daily. Yes, this business requires prospecting. The next are 5 new leads. And this is where those 4 pillars that I talk about in our newsletter, in our broker tip of the month come in. Because if you do not have 5 new leads coming into your database on a daily basis, that is part of what's keeping you from producing the amount that you want to produce. If you tell me, Alan, I want to be closing at least 1 to 2 transactions a month, it requires at least 5 new leads into your database daily. That's only 5 new calls for new leads that you have, plus your 5 calls from the day before that are the hot new leads, the existing leads, and your nurturing time that you're doing during prospecting. But 5 new leads is absolutely nothing, and it's a minimum requirement in order for your business to keep growing. Now, how do you get those 5 new leads? That's where those 4 income pillars really come in. Now, there are 2 ways to get leads, and we're actually going to talk about this further and go into a lot of detail in our upcoming summit. And I'm going to have Elizabeth tell you when that is. But here's the quick snippet of it, okay? If you do not have your 4 pillars figured out, written out, and understand what they are, where they come from, and what you need to be doing, then this is a good opportunity for you to start thinking about it. And then we're going to refine it during our next summit. Here's how it works. Pillar number one can be something that is either going to cost you time or cost you money. Actually, all pillars in this industry either cost you time or money. Some of them cost you both. But ideally, we want to go for the free pillars first, because we don't want to just start spending without making, right? So the free pillars in our business are really, really simple. They're open houses. They are sphere of influence. They are people bringing us referrals. Those are the free pillars. Now, any pillar that you put into your business has to have a plan of action. What do you mean by that, Alan? Well, a plan of action means you have to know how you're going to follow up with those folks. So using our system, using Commissions Inc., we can actually go in there and have a 12-touch campaign for that specific pillar. Or we can have a 12-touch campaign to people that are being referred, or to encourage people to refer. That's what I mean by having a plan of action. How are you going to actually work that pillar? Now, that could be pillar number one. Pillar number one could be open houses. Pillar number two could be sphere of influence referrals. Pillar number three may actually have to be you spending a little bit of money. And the minimum that I think anyone should be spending on a monthly basis to get those 5 leads is about $100 a month. And yes, you can spend that little and get that many leads. Now, here's the thing about those leads. When you start purchasing leads, if you do not have your clear understanding on pillars and how they work, then all you're going to say is the same thing that every other real estate agent says when they purchase leads. And that sounds like, these leads suck. And we've all said it before. And when you start working this business on a larger scale, you realize that leads are called leads for a reason. They're not called guaranteed closings. They're called leads because you chase them to turn them into guaranteed closings. And so when you start buying leads, you have to have a really clear plan on how you're going to process them. And the first thing that happens is a plan on how you're going to speak to that lead. That's 8 touches within the first 8 days. That's called your 8x8. Or some people call it speed to lead, because if you call them within the first 5 minutes of them being in your system, you have the highest chance of them converting. So you have your leads coming in from your other sources, your open houses, your referrals, your pop buys, if you're doing those on a monthly basis. And now you're buying at least $100, $200 a month, whatever you can reasonably afford. And you have those leads coming in. And now in the morning, you're going to come in and you're going to make those 5 new hot calls. And then you're going to do those 5 calls to new leads. And then you're going to make sure that you're setting up your open houses for the month. Now, who here is hosting open houses this month? Raise your hand. I want to see what you guys are doing. All right. If you're not hosting open houses, drop into the chat what's keeping you. What's holding you back? Is it that we don't have enough houses? Is it that you don't have any in your area? Is it that you don't know how to host an open house? Is it that you don't have the time, or don't know where, when, why, whatever it is? Drop your objection into the chat. We want to hear from you. What's holding you back from hosting open houses? Because we have seen it work right now, and we're seeing results from it. We're seeing that you guys that are hosting open houses are getting those leads, are putting people into your database. And the people that want to buy in this market, whether it's a 6%, 7 or 8% market, whatever it is, they're still going out and looking at houses that will fit their budget. All right. Lex, 3 power hours. How many power hours do we have this week? Who can tell me? Nobody raised their hand too quickly or fast. Go ahead and unmute yourself. How many power hours do we have this week? We have, Adrian says we have 4 power hours. Manuel says we have 2. Sorry, Adrian, no coffee for you. Manuel, make sure you pick up a Starbucks gift card when you come in. And by the way, the 2 that we have this week, the first one is hosted on Tuesday. That's from 9 a.m. to 12. And that's to give all of you morning birds a chance to come in. And that happens this Tuesday, hosted by Manuel Mata. And the next one happens on Thursday from 3 to 6 p.m. All right. So get those into your calendar right now, because that is part of our 90-day plan to get back onto doing the things that we need to do on a daily basis. Valencia says, I only saw one listed this week on Evite or Eventbrite. I mean, we'll look into that. Thank you, Valencia. Elizabeth, can we look into that and make sure that we have two of them? And then, yes, 2 hours of smiling and dialing. 9 o'clock is the best time to get started. And what we mean by smiling and dialing isn't just start calling people randomly, just start calling people without focus and intention. We mean start calling those 5 new leads that you got yesterday that you couldn't get to. Start making sure that you follow up with those people that you told them you were going to follow up on. Start making everything you can, doing everything you can to set up those appointments that you know you need to have. And speaking of appointments, I want to also just do a quick reminder. It's 10 to 15-minute virtual appointments that we're shooting for these days during Zoom. Okay, we're the whole thing about like setting up a 45-minute discussion about how people are going to buy their house with you and they're going to come into the office and there's all that pressure. It's unnecessary. 10 to 15-minute appointments where you and your lender can hop on to that same meeting. That's the best result that you can get right now from someone. Then once you start showing them a house or two, then you can sit down and say, look, let me walk you through the entire process. Here's what it's going to look like. By the way, we need to also make sure that we have our agreement in writing. Here's a buyer's representation agreement. That's how you can process people easier on a small step basis without jumping right into marrying someone from the get-go. Last but not least, one equity review or CMA sent. If you have sellers, if you like working with sellers, there's no better way to reach out to them than to let them know what their house is worth or how much equity they have and what their options are. If you also are investing in real estate, which everyone here should be at least thinking about getting into investments during this year, it's also a good opportunity for you to look for something on MLS that says investor friendly, send me a cash offer, or any of those keywords that you know are going to be potential. Those are great opportunities for you to at least run some numbers on, ask some questions on, and start getting to know exactly what it is that you need and what you can help clients with as well in that perspective. So that's your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 plan. I wanted to make sure that we run it. Guys, we're going to run through this a few more times. So don't kill me if you hear me say or go through this a few more times in the next few months, because I want to make sure that everyone is on top of this and doing it, because I know I can give you certainty that if you do this, you will not have a hard last quarter of the year. Everything that we do right now shows up 90 days from now. So what we didn't do 90 days ago is what we're seeing right now. If we didn't make the phone calls that you needed to make, if you didn't do the things that you needed to do, if you didn't do your open houses, if you didn't do your follow-ups, if you forgot about pop buys, if you forgot about asking for referrals, if you didn't have a system set up, if you didn't do your 12 touch campaigns, or you didn't buy any leads, it's all showing up right now if you're not closing the amount of leads that you want to close. If you're closing right now, you can actually say, I did this, and therefore I have this. But if that's not the case, then the point is not to look at what you didn't do. The point is to look at what you can do right now. And you can take action absolutely right now and make it work. All right, I've spoken a lot already. I want to hand over the mic to Elizabeth so she can talk to us about all of our upcoming events. Go ahead, Liz.
Hey, good morning. So like Alan mentioned, we have 2 power hours this week. The first one is tomorrow starting at 9 a.m. The next one is Thursday starting at 3 p.m. So that's 2 this week. Next week is our next rally on Thursday. So make sure you guys are sending that out to your sphere. We've sent out your tracking links. Let us know if you don't have that. And Manuel posted a challenge last week. If you get 5 registrations under your link, you'll get a free VIP ticket. So make sure you're sending that out so you can get that free VIP ticket. So that's next Thursday. And then on Wednesday, August 16th, one of our agents, Liz, is actually hosting a home buyer workshop. So that's actually up on our Eventbrite. So we're excited for her to host that event. And then August 23rd is going to be our next summit. So I know this is a lot of events, but I'm going to send out the link for Eventbrite that has everything listed on there. And you can go in, register for everything, and get it all on your calendar. And we look forward to seeing you at all the events.
Awesome. Hey, Liz, do you remember what the training is going to be on for the upcoming summit?
Not off the top of my head. I'll have to double check.
All right, all right. I'm pretty sure it's all about lead generation and how to get those 4 income pillars in place when you're a real estate agent. So hopefully all of you guys can join us for that event. Remember that our summits are absolutely free. They come with lunch included as well. So it's a good opportunity for you to hang out with your colleagues. Most importantly, it's a good opportunity for you to learn and receive free training from experts. Next, I also want to acknowledge Elizabeth Aguirre, because she had a fantastic idea on doing an online webinar to help her sphere of influence and potential clients with the process of learning how to buy a house. So I thought that was a fantastic idea, and we, White Picket, are partnering up with her as her marketing partners. We're posting that on Eventbrite. We have ads running on Facebook and Instagram. We're blasting it out to our list, and supporting her with all of the visuals and designs that she needs to make it look like a top-notch event. And I want to mention that this is something that we can do for everyone here. We can do at least one per month. So if you guys want to sign up for the next one next month, and the 1 month after that, please let us know. The best way to do it is to send an email to Elizabeth, not Elizabeth Aguirre, but Elizabeth Dunn. And there's so many Elizabeths now, right? And so that way we can get you guys on the Eventbrite and we can process all of your event details. If you have other events, other items that you want to talk about, other events you want to host, whether they're in person or virtual, we definitely want to help you guys with that. We want to be your marketing partners and help you push all of the information that you want to push out there along with you. All right. It is 8:56. In 4 minutes, we're going to be hanging up with this call, and we're going to be getting those phones ready with those top 5. Now, if you haven't thought about who the top 5 people are just yet, I want you to take another 30 seconds to go ahead and think about who you're going to reach out to first today. Either the people that told you you needed a call back, the people that said, hey, I'm ready, but this is a good opportunity for you to create those follow-ups and start with those good top 5 first, because that's what creates momentum, so that way we can continue calling the rest of the folks in our database. Now, without further ado, the best way to start a day, any day of the week, is with our morning business affirmations. If you haven't created your own, I encourage you to. Otherwise, you can always print these out, put them all over your house, and of course, follow along with me. Here we go. We believe in paying rent daily, not monthly. That stands for rest, exercise, nutrition, and thoughts. By starting our days with these key elements in mind, we can work diligently towards living a life in balance and fulfillment that brings the results we want in our personal life and transfers to our business life. I will perform like the top performer that I am. I will plan my work and work my plan. I acknowledge that my business grows as I learn to help more and more people. As I take action in being consistent, success and achievement will naturally follow. I am a magnet, and everything that is meant for me will find me as I continue my search for knowledge. I guarantee my own success by improving 1% of my business and/or personal life daily. All of my thoughts and efforts will be aligned with my goals, as they will lead me to the success that I desire. There is an opportunity in everything that presents itself to me, and I will use all opportunities as a chance to grow myself and/or my business. Obstacles and challenges may happen, and I acknowledge that they are a necessary part of life meant to strengthen me. I realize that money can't buy happiness, but it can buy real estate. And I acknowledge that many of the things people expect in life are simply choices. Therefore, I choose to be happy, love what I do. I cannot wait to see you guys at Call Hour this week, at the summit the next week, or the rally the next week, and the summit after that. Be on the lookout for the Eventbrite link here shortly. Get signed up for all of them. We want to make sure that we have an incredibly fantastic, successful month. We're starting it off on the right foot.